Good evening. Welcome to our December Sullivan County Board of Education meeting. If you will, let's please stand and do a moment of silence, followed by the pledge led by Dr. Rouse. All right, as we begin tonight, if you will, the agenda is in front of you. Everybody should be familiar with that as we've looked at it over in the work session. Need a motion to approve this agenda. Motion by Mr. Hughes. Second by Mr. Jones. Remember, we approve this agenda. It also includes the consent agenda. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to public comment on agenda items. I don't have anybody to speak on anything on the agenda, so I'm gonna move on to communications to the board and turn it over to Mr. Carter.
Good evening. Welcome everybody to our December board meeting. Just a couple of items to make mention of before we move into some really exciting presentations this evening. But first, want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Our staff will be finishing up and our students will be finishing on the 19th of December with a half day. And then they'll return to school on January the 4th in the new year, 2024. Central office will be closed after the 22nd. Friday the 22nd will be our last day until after Christmas, returning on 27th. And then again, January 1st, Central office will be closed that day as well for the new year. Staff members will return on the 3rd for Professional Development Day, In-Service Day. They'll be with us back day before students come back. But still, once again, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. A little early, but Merry Christmas. And with that in mind, we're very excited about our next part of the board meeting this evening. Anytime we get to recognize and highlight our students, it's a big opportunity that I really appreciate. And just like to say, in front of you here, we have the 3 grade span. We were elementary, our middle school, and our high school Christmas card art contest winners. We're going to make a representation here in just a second. I'll go down front and we'll be handing those out. But just for everyone in the audience and our board, these cards are not just cards that won the art contest. Those have been turned into Christmas cards, and they're being sent out to different school systems and businesses and industry, government officials. So your cards are all over Sullivan County and all over the first region up here into several different counties. So congratulations on your accomplishments there. So I'm gonna move down here to the podium and we'll bring each of you up for the representation there. Okay, I was given some good directions from Ms. King, and I just want to make sure that I get this all right. So let me grab the first set. All right. So what all is here? We have a little magazine that highlights the Christmas card as well in here. So you've got one of those, but if you need extra copies, there's some of those available here, so please feel free to get those. There's also your card submission, and then each one was turned into almost like a poster size and framed. We do have a small gift. There's some pals bucks there for each of the winners. So go enjoy a big pal there on us. And then a card and a card for the art teacher and one for the principal if they're here this evening. So our first our first winner in the art contest from the elementary level was Miss Riley Moore from Holston Elementary. Come on up, guys. Congratulations. You got the beautiful dress you got on there tonight, too. Now, Riley, what grade are you in? Third grade. Okay, who's your teacher? Okay, all right. You sound like you got a little bit of a sore throat going on. Okay, let's shake hands on it. Congratulations. I'm gonna get this for you and we'll turn that in. At the middle school level, grades 6 through 8, we have Mrs. Madison Brewer, and I believe Miss Brewer had some special family members and also some of her school family as well. So I know we have Dr. Fields and Mrs. Hardy here this evening. So would y'all like to come up as well? No? No? Madison? Come on up, Madison. Madison Brewer, I'll show hers off if you haven't been able to see it yet. Beautiful card to her board up here as well. I'm sorry I didn't show the other one, but same thing. There's your card, the magazine, little gift, and the Christmas card there, and then this poster size that's been framed, and then we've got something for Dr. Fields and teacher as well. He's trying to make me look like I got hair. I don't know what to do. So there you go. All right, and then our high school level. I'm going to show this off to the board. This was the high school meeting. Everybody. So in the high school level from Westridge, Miss Destiny Wilson. Destiny, come on up. Thank you to all of our winners. We had some really good competition, so for you to win that contest, it means a lot because there were a lot of submissions there, so congratulations. And don't forget, there's some extra copies up here if you do need them, okay? Thank you. All right. Under unfinished business, number 6, unfinished business there. Letter A, on old Holston warehouse, We did determine during the work session tonight that back in June of '23, it was approved to go out and get bids for the potential removal of asbestos and demolition. So I don't think we're going to require any action. We'll just move to that since we did get Northeast State was turned down the opportunity. They decided they were not interested in purchasing. So we'll open that back up to get bids, and I'll be working with Chris Davis to make sure we get that information out. On the Henry Hard Road property, we did have a gentleman who had shown interest in possible land swap. He's since then decided that he's going to withdraw that interest. So we need to discuss, if we are going to reopen that for auction, when do we want those dates to be so we could go ahead and start working on that. So is there the first 2 weeks after we're back in school in January, or give us that first week back to get everything together? Amy Grizel can get it going and then put it out for 2 weeks.
So the recommendation is to reopen the bid, starting the first couple weeks in January. That's the recommendation, correct?
Yes, with a minimum bid of $150,000. Is that same as before? Same minimums as before? 75. Right. Right.
You've heard.
So do every part of it the same way, basically, where they're going to bid it and separately and then together, the same as last. That's great.
Yep.
Great idea.
Heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion to that effect? Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Iverson. Any discussion, further discussion? Can you take the?
Yes.
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 Letter C is the Sullivan Gardens Middle, or also known as Sullivan West. We did complete the surplus of talking with our schools and making things available for anyone who might have had interest. Thank you, Dr. Palmer and Mr. Hubbard, for organizing that and getting that effort taken care of, especially Dr. Palmer. He had pictures that he sent out and really just got that last opportunity for anyone. So the next step in what we had previously talked about was the opportunity to support a neighboring school district in another state over in Virginia. Scott County has shown some interest, but it would require us to make those items surplus. And so I think tonight we'd like to ask for the board to consider making all non-attached items to be declared as surplus at the former Sullivan West property. And then we can move forward with surplusing that to Scott County, Virginia.
Rick? Motion by Mr. Iverson. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Spivey. Any further discussion on this matter? Ms. King? Take it.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Under new business items, the first one, policy 4.301, interscholastic athletics, is just changing our policy to line up more with the TSBA, which is to get us more in line with the law, the recent law. So asking for a waiver of rules on this with adoption on the first reading.
I make the motion that we waive the rules.
Motion by Mr. Hughes, second by Mr. Robinson. Any discussion? Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Iverson.
Yes.
During our work session, Ms. Anderson, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, trying to move on
So-
through. Sorry.
Now we need to get a motion to adopt the policy.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Hughes, second by Dr. Rouse. Any discussion? Ms. King?
Who was the motion, I'm sorry?
Mr. Hughes?
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, letter B. During our work session, Ms. Anderson shared with everyone the mid-year CEP election. Ms. Anderson, you want to just do just a minute overview again, just for everyone in the audience as well?
Just a quick summary of what I discussed in our work session. Thank you, Brent. What I'm proposing is mid-year CEP election for all Sullivan County schools, and that will go into effect when we return in January. CEP, it stands for Community Eligibility Provision, which will provide our students with free breakfast and lunch.
Thank you. So we need to vote to accept that, correct? So, like,
Motion by Mr. Spivey, second by Mr. Robinson. Any other comments, discussion on this? No? Ms. King?
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Iverson,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
under letter C, these are just a series of budget amendments. You have the documents on those, but just like to request approval of letters A through H on budget amendments.
Motion by Mr. Iverson, second. Second by Mr. Robinson. Any further discussion on these budget amendments? Ms. King?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
That brings us to our public comment section on non-agenda items, and I do have one individual wishing to speak to us tonight, Mr. Gary Edmonds. Mr. Edmonds?
Good evening. I'm here to denounce the board's action of last October, and where they accepted and approved a strategic plan and academic goals offered by the director of schools. And now surprisingly, in the middle of October, just after that meeting, Times News put out an article, and it's labeled, "Why so long to get the third graders up to speed?" And as I read from this article, it says that the Board of Directors approved academic goals required for the new Tennessee funding formula. And that formula requires 70% third graders, 70% of third graders must be proficient in reading by 2033, 10 years. And in Sullivan counties, there's 62% of our third graders fail. And of course, the Times News says, why is it going to take 10 years to get up to speed? Now, and then, so 2 months have elapsed. 2 months have gone by. Oh, in the article, excuse me, it says the director, in presenting this proposal to the board, the directors of schools, Chuck Carter, said the goals will undergo public comment period starting no later than November 1st. 2 months have elapsed since it was approved. No public comment, no response to the news article, nothing on the agendas for November to December to address this. Now, surprisingly, in the middle of November, an article came out in the Times News. It was from the Associated Press, and it was a Gallup poll that was conducted. And it said, poll shows many parents do not know when kids are behind in school. And the article goes on to say there's a Memphis parent advocacy group that did this study, and they show that nearly 9 out of 10 parents believe their child is performing at a grade level despite standardized testing, and showing far fewer students are on track. And it goes on to say that the report card is the #1 indicator for a parent to turn to understand what their child's grade level is. Yet the grade level does not equal the mastery of the skill. That the ABCs on the report card are misleading, and they're just throwing the parents for a loop. And nobody tells the parents. And we haven't heard anything in 2 months. I find that this board, the school administration, certainly does not actively promote public review, debate, as is suggested in the article. Now, the fact is 6 out of 10 of our third graders, when tested, fail English language arts, spelling, vocabulary, written expression, reading comprehension. And these statistics are from the Board of Education or from the director's office. They're acknowledged and they're published. 371 of our children, our young, precious children, each of them has a name and a face. They're the future of our community. And the fact is that our county Board of Education and the school administration has for years underperformed for our students, their teachers, the community, and knowingly advanced in grades students that are unable to read. Now, the plan that was approved, presented and approved in October, the 70% in 10 years, is just a continuation of the same. And I propose it be rejected. Now, when we look at that plan that was proposed for the next 10 years, and note, it was a 6-0 approval. Unanimous. No discussion, no debate, no offering of new ideas, no challenges. And if you look at that plan and compare it to the Department of Education's mission and vision statement that's boldly put on the website, and I assume you know the language. It says, maximize student opportunities for lifelong success. It says, graduate students for college and career to be productive members of the community. This current plan just fails that miserably. Now, the governor of Tennessee and its legislature offered a layup to the director of schools, as he did to other Tennessee schools, for a funding requirement. If you achieve this, you get the money. 70% proficiency in English language arts by 2033, 10 years. And of course, our chief executive of the board took that ball, made it an easy layup, and it was approved by each and every board seat. Those responsible for our policy and our oversight. Now, if an executive at Eastman, maybe even a mid-level management employee, proposed to its board of directors an initiative, maybe for a new product or a new process, taking millions of dollars and thousands of hours of human capital, promising an outcome, 70% achievement in 10 years, he'd be fired. 371 children who can't write their name in the sand. Hundreds, and what's been proposed is there's going to be hundreds and hundreds more in the future. Remember, those future productive community members, hundreds of them over the next 10 years. Maximizing their opportunities when we're planning and expecting just mediocrity, 70%. 70% pass rate. This is moronic. Now, please consider this picture, and this is for, I don't know if we're on TV or what, but this is for county commissioners, those people that levy taxes and distribute the monies. This is for future mayoral or alderman or board seats at all levels, or who may just be in the audience listening. Just picture this. Take one of our 8 or 9-year-olds and picture him as a tree. Give him a face or a name. Picture him as a tree planted in surrounding soil, our community. This tree has a taproot, the child's elementary education. And when that taproot is neglected, harmed, or weakened, the tree is marginalized. Its fruit minimal for its lifetime. And as the tree withers in the soil, weeds flourish. Small ones like truancy, minor crime, poor voter participation. But the tougher weeds, they prevail. Drug, alcohol addiction, poverty, homelessness, mental health, domestic violence, father-absent homes, suicide, incarceration.
Your time has expired,
So as
Mr.
I'm
Edmonds.
concerned,
Your time's
I'm
up.
finishing up here.
Your time has expired. Please be
As a
seated.
concerned citizen,
Please be
a
seated.
voter and a taxpayer, and a grandpa,
You're out of order. Have a seat. Your time's up.
No, that'll leave us with the board chairman's comments and.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would like to address a few of the gentleman's comments and I expect maybe Mr. Jones might want to follow up, or maybe others. But what you're referring to is the vote we took to approve the TISA funding. That's not our plan. That's the state of Tennessee's funding level. That's for TISA. Tonight, we reviewed what's going to be our plan. Our strategic plan is a 5-year plan. It's very inclusive. When COVID hit, we were on schedule to average on our ACT scores 21 by the year 2021. Well, now we've had to redo that because we fell behind. Our schools, as all systems, got behind during COVID. So the article you read was about, we voted to approve the TISA funding. That was state of Tennessee's language. This is our plan. And it takes in math, English, arts, and everything. But the third graders are behind. My wife's a second grade teacher. We missed 500 days of school, and they're catching up very quickly. All systems across the country are behind, not just Sullivan County. But I think you've taken that a little out of that article a little out of context. So anybody else that might want to add to that, feel free to do so.
Oh, we're going to go around the room. Dr. Rouse, yes.
I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, to our teachers, our students, our families out there. I don't know how time goes so fast. Seems like I just said this to 3 months ago. But Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you have a good break and enjoy your time with your family during that break.
Mr. Ayers.
I'll just say one thing with Mr. Edmonds. I appreciate you coming. I really do. The thing about it is exactly what they've said, is that we were given a responsibility by the state to come up with a plan, and that's what we approved back earlier in the year. We have the initial draft up here now. We're still working on it. I firmly believe that a good plan is better than a fast plan, and that's what we're looking at. So what we're trying to do is actually beat that by several years, and I believe that we will. But our system's working hard on that, and we are going to continue forward. So that's part of the reason of, yes, maybe it has taken a little bit of time, but to get everybody together and to talk about it, to make sure you have a plan, is much better to make sure that you have a achievable goal and get buy-in from all parties, instead of just this group of people saying this is what you're going to do, because that's not going to work. So that's pretty much the way that process is working. But thank you for coming, and thank you for talking about that. But soon you'll be seeing our plan, and our plan is going to be much advanced beyond that. I'm sorry, sir. No, and I'm sorry. I apologize. But just other than that, I want to say everyone else, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a great holidays. I want to say, Larry Bailey, thank you guys for coming. It was nice to see you and Kirsten here tonight, so thank you guys very much. And that's it.
Mr. Robinson.
I want to congratulate our Christmas card winners. It's always a good time of year to see that. I always enjoy that part. Then also, Merry Christmas to everyone and to our staff. Maybe you get to a little break and recharge before the new year. I know y'all need it. I get it. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mr. Jones.
What Paul just said, Merry Christmas, and I hope you enjoy the family time. And I think we all probably need a break.
Amen. Mr. Spivey.
Echo everybody's comments, and I appreciate Mr. Edmonds coming too, but I agree with Mr. Hughes. I think that he might have read that article out of context. What we did in our meeting minutes back in October was, as required by law, we set goals under the TISA funding formula, and it wasn't just 10 years at 70%. There was also a goal of 5 years at 60%, and Mr. Hughes made a very good point that with COVID and everything else, every school system is behind, and it's really not fair to say failing. What that goal was 70% of students at a third grade level would meet or exceed the TCAP testing that would be in place in 2033. So it's really clear in our meeting minutes, as it also was, that comments could be made online through November on our website, and that a plan would be developed. Thank all the teachers and parents. I know everybody's tired. I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas and get some rest, and we'll see you in the new year.
Only thing I have is Merry Christmas to you all. It's an honor to serve on this board. It's a wonderful system. I'm so proud of the accomplishments of what this school system is doing and the direction they're headed. Hope everyone has a great holiday, and we'll see you in January. The meeting is January the 4th. Right. The minutes will be the couple agenda. Right. At 4:30 work session, at 4:30 meeting at 6:30. Yeah, and we'll have a closed session, safety meeting on December the 18th at 5 o'clock. Anything else? Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. So moved.